So actually drag this here. Okay, so run this. It says guess the number. Okay, so let's just have a colon here just so we have some kind of space. And it's displaying the default message because the very first time I called ask for user and ask for number, I didn't provide anything, and so message the arguments that we're supposed to specify, but we didn't, has a default value of guess the number. So that's where we are changing it. So stop the program and just take this a bit down. Run the program. Now it says guess the number with a colon. So I'm going to guess. Well, there's no way for us to actually see the number. So just for testing purposes, let's have the program display the number. So after we've generated a random number here, okay, we want to display it for ourselves. So I'm going to say print. Let's just print out for ourselves, okay, just so we can see the random numbers. I'm just going to say over here, for testing purposes. All right, for testing purposes, random number. Yeah, for testing purposes, random number, and then I'm going to say colon, and then I'm going to type in the random number. So when you pass an argument into the print function this way, separated by commas, they are displayed with a space separating them. So this is going to be displayed as for testing purposes, comma, random number, colon, this space, random number. Okay, so it's going to separate these two arguments with a space. All right, so this is just for testing purposes, so we can see the random number. Later on, once we are done, we can comment it out. All right, and then later on, every time we want to see the random number itself, because it's a game, the user doesn't have to see the random number, but for us, we just want to see it so we can compare and verify to see if it's true. And so I'm going to run this. And over here, you can see it says for testing purposes, random number is 46, right? So let's just call it. Let's change the message so it's a bit. Okay, it's fine. For testing purposes, random number 46. All right, it's fine. Let's just do that. I run it again. For testing purposes, random number 16. So we know the random number is 16, right? But let's just play guessing. So I'm going to type in something lower. I'm going to type in 12. It should say too low. So I hit enter. Now it says too low. Try again. I'm going to enter 17. It should say too high. So 17, too high. Try again. But when I hit 16, I hit enter. 16 is the correct number. We know that. We are kind of cheating over here. So hit enter. Now it says congratulations. It still says try again. Hold on 1 second. Let's fix that. Okay, so it shouldn't have said try again. After the user is congratulated, it should go ahead and it should say over here guess the number again, because this is where we are asking the number again here. Just give me a second, I'll go through this. So ask the user for number here. Let's go to true. Alright, so let's just go through this again, just make sure. Hold on. Let me just go through the logic of this and see what's happening. Okay, so guess the number. I type in 60, too high. Okay, 17. Congratulations. Try again. Did I put something in the other while loop? Okay, so I think I'm missing something here. Okay, so we display congratulations. This is when the message is making sure this is correct. Okay, so that's the problem. So over here, it was returning congratulations with an exclamation mark here. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah. It was returning congratulations with an exclamation sign here, right? So when it checks over here, so basically it's this congratulations that it's printing, right? It's not a statement. It's still the statement here, because because guess what? If it's correct, if you're guessing correctly, it's returning congratulations with an exclamation sign. And so congratulations with an exclamation sign is not equal to congratulations without an exclamation sign over here. And so it's printing out the message, all right, congratulations with an exclamation sign, right? And then it's asking us to try again. And so we can type in another thing. We haven't won yet. Type in 12. It says too low. I type in 17. It's still going to print out 17. We've guessed correctly, so it's going to return congratulations with an exclamation sign, and it's going to print out that. It's going to print out that, and it's going to ask us again to try again, because as far as the program is concerned, you're still guessing. Okay, the message is not exactly equal to congratulations without an exclamation sign. So congratulations with an exclamation sign is not equal to congratulations without an exclamation sign. So in order to fix it, right, if we get it correct, it's returning congratulations with an exclamation sign. If we get it correct, it's returning congratulations with an exclamation sign. And so over here, we only want to check when the message is not equal to congratulations, okay, with an exclamation sign. If the message is not equal to congratulations with an exclamation sign, meaning if the message is too low or too high, if its message is anything other than congratulations with an exclamation sign, then print that message, which is going to be that too low or too high. Ask the user to try again, get the number, check again. But as soon as the user is, because over here we didn't have this exclamation sign. If we got it correct, it's returning congratulations with an exclamation sign. And so we only have to filter out anything. We have to match this. So if the message is equal to congratulations with an exclamation sign, then this while loop is not going to run. This is only for messages not exactly equal to congratulations with an exclamation sign. Okay, so there was a mismatch over there. I hope you get it. There was a mismatch over there, and that's why, although it was displaying congratulations with an exclamation sign, because if we get it correct, it's returning congratulations with an exclamation sign. I keep on saying congratulations with an exclamation sign. Anyway, I hope you get it. If we get it correct, it's returning this message with an exclamation sign. And so we should have matched that. We should have said that if the message is not equal to congratulations with an exclamation sign, right, then do this. But when we get it correct, okay, the message will be exactly this, congratulations with an exclamation sign. And so if the message is exactly equal to congratulations with an exclamation sign, then this while loop is not going to run. But if it's not equal to congratulations with an exclamation sign, then do something else. There was no exclamation sign, and this message wasn't equal to congratulations without an exclamation sign. Congratulations with an exclamation sign wasn't equal to this without an exclamation sign. And so that was why we were still in this loop. And so we have to make sure that when the message is not equal to it's not equal to congratulations without an exclamation sign, then keep on asking the user. But as soon as it's exactly equal to congratulations with an exclamation sign, because that's what we are getting when we get it correct. Okay, so as soon as it's equal to congratulations with an exclamation sign, then get out of the loop and then print congratulations with an exclamation sign, set user congratulated to true, and then start the game all over again. And so that's why the game wasn't starting again. So I kept on saying congratulations with an exclamation sign. I think I've said it like over 50 times already. Yes, that's me. Anyway, sorry it was a bit annoying over there, but I had to say it to explain it. I had to say it so it's clear. Okay, I can't help it. All right, so I hit stop, and let's run this again because I fixed it now. So debug it. Let's try now. So for testing purposes, random number is 42. So we know the number. Let's cheat. And so 30. I know it's going to be too low. Try again. 43. I know it's going to be too high. And so try again. Now I'm going to hit 42. Now it says congratulations. Okay, and then the game starts again. For testing purposes, random number is 1. And so not 1 is the number. So I'm going to hit 100. We know it's too high. I'm going to hit 2. I know it's too high. 1 is the number. So when I hit 1, it says congratulations. For testing purposes, random number is 72. And so the number is 72. I'm going to just type in 72. Congratulations, number is 52. Congratulations. So the number is 3. We see it's working, but this is why I mentioned that a game is an infinite loop, because that's exactly what the question is saying we should do. If the user guesses the number, the application should congratulate the user and then generates a new random number so the game can start over. And that's what it's doing. I guess you can interpret it differently and say it's not really an infinite loop. But then we've done the question exactly, as required. But then we can fix this program and allow the user to choose whether they want to continue or not. So if the user says they don't want to continue, the game ends. We can always do that. That's a good thing about programming. We can always change it and add stuff to it. Okay, so now let's work on the optional enhancement. Enhance the game so it keeps count of the number of guesses that the user makes. Okay, when the user correctly guesses the random number, the program should display the number of guesses. Okay, so let's work with that. Take this down. All right, so enhance the game so it keeps count of the number of guesses that the user makes. All right, so when the game starts, okay, let's start. Okay, when the game let's initialize over here a variable, and let's call it user number of guesses, and let's set it to 0. Okay, let's set it to 0 because when the game starts, the user hasn't guessed, so it makes sense to set it to 0. Okay, so we are keeping track of it because it says enhance the game, so it keeps count of the number of guesses. So we know it's 0 over here. But as soon as the user types in a number, they've guessed. As soon as they type in a number, they hit enter, they've guessed, right? Over here, so we generate a random number. This is just an optional message. I'm just going to I'll comment it out later on. We generate a random number. We'd say user number is equal to ask for number. Okay, so this is when we ask for a number and the user types in a number and that number is stored here. So as soon as they do that, let's add 1 to user number of guesses. Okay, the user has guessed, so let's add 1 to it. And so I'm going to type in user number of guesses is going to be equal to what's already stored in user number of guesses plus 1. Right? So if user number of guesses is initially 0, it's going to be 0 plus 1, which is going to result in 1, and 1 is going to be stored in user number of guesses. If user number of guesses is initially 10, right? 1 is going to be added to 10, and the result is going to be 11, and 11 is going to be stored in user number of guesses here. And so anytime, as soon as the user types in guesses a number here, let's add 1 to it. Okay, this is the very first time they are basically asking and typing a number. And so we keep checking the number over here to see if the user didn't get a message of congratulations. Okay, so this is where we keep on asking the user. So if the user didn't get it correct, right, we display a message like try again or too low, try again, too high, try again, and then we give the user another option to type again. Remember, we're doing the same thing here. We're asking the user again. We're saying try again. As soon as they do that, they've guessed again. And so let's add 1 to user number of guesses. So I'm going to copy this line here. As soon as they do that again, let's add 1. So anytime they do that, let's add 1. Let's add 1 to it, and then display a message, check the number. They get it wrong, add 1 to the number. They guess again, add 1 to number of guesses. They get it wrong, they guess again, add 1 to number of guesses. So we are keeping track of number of guesses here. Now this statement it looks long, right? Now I'm supposed to space out my program. I don't know. Sometimes I just like to keep them together. Sometimes I space them out too. So sorry. Feel free to space yours out if it's a bit hard to read. But sometimes I do this to kind of punish myself and to make me actually better. I guess I do this to make me better so that when the code is at its worst, close together jumbled, if I can manage to read it when it's at its worst and it's close together, then that means I'm actually getting better because when the code is close together, I can read. When the code is open, I can read. So in other words, I'm getting better. So I do that sometimes to just make myself get better, I guess. Someone can say it's silly, I guess. But feel free to space it out if it's not too spaced out for you. And so this statement, user number of guesses, like I was about to say that. It's you can think of it, it's long to some people, right? There's a shortcut for it. User number of guesses equals user number of guesses plus 1. It's just a shortcut for it. You can write it this way: user number of guesses plus equals 1. In other words, this means I am adding 1 to user number of guesses. You can think of it that way. You can also think of it this way. User number of guesses is increasing by 1. Okay, so however it helps you, understand, use it. So I'm going to make this. Well, I'm going to leave this, as a shortcut version, and I'll leave this here as a long form version just so you can see. All right, so over here we're keeping track of it, and so this is where we print the congratulations message, and so we can tell the user with it. We can say print the message congratulations, and also print another message saying it took you, right? It took you. Let's have another argument, user number of guesses. It took you user number of guesses. Another argument to get it, or to guess it correct, or to guess correctly. Right? Okay, so I don't know if you can see it, but then there is a line here that's there's a line here basically, and this line is basically there to help me or to guide me type 80 characters on a line. Okay, it's a Python standard to type in 80 characters on a line, and so I'm trying to follow that, and so I don't want to exceed this line, so I'm going to break this line, and I'm going to break it somewhere around here onto the next line. And before you break any line in Python, you have to type in the backslash and you hit enter. And so I've broken it to 2 lines, same line, but I've just broken it to 2 lines because I don't want to exceed 80 characters on a line. See, so nothing has changed. I'm just breaking it to 2 lines. And so we display, like I said, when you pass an argument into the print function this way, they are going to be displayed with a space separating them. So it's going to display the message space. It took you user number of guesses, which is, let's say, 5 or 6 or 7, whatever it is. It took you 6 guesses, for example. It took you 6 guesses to guess, or 6 attempts to guess correctly. Okay, so let's try it. Run it again. For testing purposes, random number is 15. And let's, I know the number is 15, so when I type in 5, it's going to be too low. When I type in 16, it's too high. But when I type in 15, now it took me, this is my 3rd try. So this is my 1st try, 2nd try, 3rd try. So when I hit enter, now it says, congratulations, it took you 3 attempts to guess correctly. Now for testing purposes, random number is 84. The game has started again. Okay, so now I want to basically, I don't need any help, so I'm going to comment out this line with a hashtag in front of it to comment it out. So that's not going to run as part of the program. It's just a comment. All right, so now the game is just it's just hardcore now, and I'm going to play the game, like if it's a real game. And so for guess the number, I'm going to start with 50. Too high, try again. So I'm going to go to 30. Too low. So I know the number is between 30 and 50. I'm going to go for 40. It's too high. So I know the number is between 30 and 40, right? And so I'm going to go for 35. Too low. So I know it's between 35 and 40. So I'm going to go for 38. Too high. And so 35 and 38, between that number, I'm going to go for 36. And I got it correct. So congratulations, it took you 6 attempts to guess correctly. And it's true. We can count and see. This is my 1st attempt, 2nd attempt, 3rd attempt, 4th, 5th, and 6th. And it's working. And the game has started again, so it says guess the number. The only difference is it's not showing me the number. Okay, now let's separate things out. Just so let's have some kind of line break so we can separate things out. Guess the number. Okay, too high. Try again. Too low. Try again. Okay, I think this is fine. But when it's displaying the message, I think it should have a line break before that. And so before it displays the message of, let's say, over here, before it displays the message of congratulations, let's have an argument before it, which is going to be a new line character. No. Actually, no. Let's not do that. That's bad. Well, that's going to work, but there's going to be a space in front of the next line. Let's not do that. All right. So let me show you one way to do that. I want to have a line break before it says the congratulations, it took you 6 attempts. I want to have a line break. Now, if you call the print function this way and you type in, you tell it to print something like this, and you run it, it's going to do exactly that. It's going to print out that thing. It's going to print out that thing. When let's try. I didn't want this to do that. Okay, you know what? Let's not start it here because now I need to play the game first. I'm going to cut this print statement and then move it up here, right up here, as the first thing of the main, so we can see it. Okay, so when you type in the print function, it prints out exactly what you. It prints out exactly what you told it to print. And you see, by default, after printing out what you've told it to print, it's going to move. Okay, it's going to end with a new line character. By default, the print function always ends with a new line character. So it's going to move the position from where it's at, okay, at the end of the line, to the next line, and anything that comes after this print function is displayed on that next line. By default, that's how it works. After printing out whatever you've told it to print, it ends with a new line character. It moves the position from where it's at here to the next line, and anything that comes after that print function is displayed on that next line. And so you can call the print function and pass in nothing, right? You are still printing something. In this case, that something you're printing is nothing, right? You're telling it to print nothing here. And so on this line, instead of printing out this, it's going to print out nothing on this line, which means you have an empty line. And because by default, the print function always ends with a new line, okay, it's still going to print out nothing. It's going to print out nothing on this line. But because by default, the print function always ends with a new line, it's going to move the position from where it's at over here to the next line. And so anything that comes after that print statement, that is printing out nothing on this line, anything that comes after that empty line, after printing out that empty line, is going to be displayed from the next line going. And so when you call the print function and passing nothing, you're basically printing out an empty line, and anything that comes after that will be displayed on that next line. Okay, so we know we can use this to basically create an empty line. And so before that congratulations message is printed, we can print a new line here. So let's run this. Let's play it again. So 45 too high, 35 too high, 25 too high, 15 too low, 20 too low, 23. Okay, now we see that there's a line break here. Congratulations, it took you 6 attempts to guess correctly. And right after the message also, we want another line before we asked again, guess the number. Okay, right after the message. And so you can do the same thing here. Right after the message, you can type in a print function this way. You can do that, and that will certainly work. But let me show you another way to do that. Okay, so right after printing out the very last argument, which is attempt to guess correctly. Okay, but right after printing out this, I want to embed in some characters, which is \n. And \n is not going to be printed on the screen because / is a special character. Okay, anytime you type in a \, it's not going to be printed, but rather it's going to expect it's going to expect a special character. Okay, and n happens to be one of the special characters. When you type in n regularly, okay, in your string, it's going to be printed alright. But if one of the special characters follows the \, it's going to do what it's supposed to do. The / starts an escape sequence, and it's expect a special character. And so when you type in the / and you type in one of the special characters, in this case n, what it does is it's going to create a new line character, meaning it's going to move the position from where it's at the end of correctly to the next line, and anything that comes after this \n will be displayed from that next line going. Okay, so by putting in the \n, okay, it's going to move the position from where it's at to the next line. Now remember I mentioned that when I remove this wasn't there. Remember I mentioned that when the print function by default ends with a new line character. And so that's why when it printed out this whole message, congratulations, it took you, it moved the position from where it's at to the next line here. And so now the position is here. And so anything that came after that correctly, that last, word correctly was displayed on that next line. And so when we do this ourselves, when we type in the \n, okay, now the \n together is creates a new line together. Okay, so by default it's ending with a new line, and so the position will be here. Anything that comes after that print function will be displayed here. But we've also manually typed in a \n, meaning after displaying correctly, by default it moves to the new next line here. We also type in our \n ourselves. So the position will be here, right? After correctly, the position will be here because the print function by default move the position from where it's at to the, but because the print function by default ends with a new line, so the position will be here. But because of that extra \n, the position will be shifted to the next line again, and so guess the number will follow on that next line. And so by calling the \n, you're basically creating a line break. You're basically moving to the next line before printing anything that comes after it. So anything that comes after this \n now will be displayed on that next line. Okay, so \n creates or moves to the next line, and anything that comes after it is displayed on that next line. All right, so so this is another way to do that, and so we'll see that. So let's play the game one more time. Guess the number. This time I'm going to try to get it in a few times. Let's see. I'm going to start with 40, too low. I'm going to go for 60, too high. So I'm going to go for 50, 55, 53. Okay, 52. Okay, it took you 6 attempts to guess correctly. So okay, now we can see that you have a line break with this print function, and we can see we have another line break here with this \n. Okay, first of all, the print function moves the position to the next line. It always ends with a new line, so the position will be here. And because the \n is there, it moves one further. And before anything that comes after the \n will be displayed on that next line. And so we can see now it's clear. Let's just try one last time because I took 6 attempts. That's terrible. And so let's see, 50, too low. 60, too low. 70, too high. 65, 67, 68, 69. 7 attempts. One more. Looks like I'm bad at this one. All right, so 50, too low. 60, too low. 70, too high. 65, oh my goodness. 66. Okay, at least I took 5 attempts with this one, so that's good. All right, but we can see the game still continuing. So if we wanted to continue playing, we can just continue because it's asking us guess the number. We won, congratulations, guess the number. And so this is an infinite loop, like I said, but it's still fun. You don't have to now click a button to start again. You're just playing and playing and playing. You're hooked, I guess. But then you can always modify the program to always give the user the choice to continue or not to continue. And so we're done with the program and it's working. It's not too long. This is the main, and these are our functions. Okay. And so if you have any questions, please comment down below, and I'll do everything to respond to them as always. Thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time with the next program. All right then. Bye-bye.